Not everyone can appreciate the sounds of the Dead Kennedys, but then that's punk music for you. Strident, frenetic, and often angry.
It's something that's supposed to be gut level and interesting, far more true to the original spirit of rock and roll than anything like AC/DC or Men at Work.
It's supposed to be upsetting and get under your skin to get people out of their...
Anti-stupidity and anti-normality, shall we say.
It's to get people out of their little apathetic shells and to get involved in what's going on around them, maybe, instead of just sit around at home.
Get people out of their ruts by, knocking them on the side.
It's a state of mind more than a stereotype, really, because part of the original intention of punk was to break down different kinds of uniforms and social etiquette that were getting in the way of people's open mind.
The band is strongly political, anti-violence and anti-apathy. Even though they're both emotions the band sometimes arouses in people. The apathy from people who couldn't care less about their music, and the violent feelings from those who find the band's name offensive.
Doesn't having a name like that tend to attract notoriety for the band?
Well, what's wrong with that?
Some might say that you're cashing in on a fairly tasteless name.
Well, why don't you look at the amount of money we've made and then decide whether we're cashing in or not. You can't cash in if you don't get much money out of it. We can survive off the band, but it took us a long time just to get to that point. And so it's not as though it's a big exploitation thing.
This is one of the band's better-known tunes, called Holiday in Cambodia. Among other song titles are Too Drunk, Kill the Poor, and Terminal Preppy. For the Kennedys, their lyrics say it all, even if you can't make out the words when performed live. And live is the most probable way of hearing them, because radio programmers seem hesitant to schedule their songs. They don't sell a lot of records either, but then they don't see those conventional yardsticks as a measure of success.
Our idea of success is if somebody comes into the show that has never been to a punk show before and has real closed attitudes about what they're going to expect and walks out with their minds open a bit and maybe thinking a little bit more about what's going on in the world and still had a good time, that's success as far as we've been successful that night then.
Most recording artists perhaps would equate success to having a top 10 record or something of that nature. Do you see it in that way?
We're against rock and roll business and rock and roll prostitution. As I say, the original spirit of rock and roll was just people, it was meant as a form of attack, really. I don't think any art is legitimate unless it attacks people. Even with painting or film or something, it's got to be something that arouses some kind of deep positive or negative thought rather than something that goes in one ear and out the other.
What you say, though, sort of implies that you shouldn't be getting fun out of it.
That's crap. We get a lot of fun out of it. Yeah. It's more gratifying to be able to survive, even if it's at a pretty low level, doing this than it is to slave away working an 8-hour-a-day crap job like you are.
All right, then one final question. What can people expect when they go and see a concert by the Dead Kennedys?
Come down and find out. We're not going to put any preconceptions in your mind that it's going to be this or that. But we don't want people coming down to make trouble, basically. And we are pretty anti-violent. I suggest you come down for yourself and find out. I'd like to see you out front.
The rest of the world, there was a couple of bars. Stick here in the guard. Inside a house or a prison, how you gonna get out? I drink bull and you did it good. Big smoke stars and your boots. Getting fried by the fire. With a couple of bars. 5 bites for the yard. It's a pleasure to watch you all melt. But hey! What about the gain? Stop out of the basement. Be here and save it. Yeah, you're gonna need it. the bars. Sex fight wild wire. Never looked so helpless. Engulfed in flames. Cameras watching the walls. Don't forget the dogs. Now you're tracking your boots and how you're getting it out. See the gun go run, 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 run from the fire.
Have you ever appeared on stage totally naked?
Yes, but not on purpose.
It just gets ripped off you, I've noticed.
Yeah, so we try to put a stop to that, because once we were opening for The Clash, and we'd never played before a large number of people before.
Yeah.
And as an experiment, here was this soft bed of skulls in front of me, so I dove out into the crowd, like Iggy Pop and Darby Crash had done many years before, and who knows how many other people.
Right.
But I hadn't done it in that situation before, so I figured why not, and away went my jeans, away went my shirt, and held onto my belt, and my shoes, and my Argyle socks, and that was about it. And so some people after that began showing up at our smaller club gigs thinking that they had come to see a striptease. And it was not as though I had any money to run out and buy new pants or new shirts or anything, so we just had to put an end to that.
Right.
Occasionally accidents do happen, but that's not really the main purpose of the performance or the band.